Have you heard of the management monkey? It's a slightly politically incorrect phrase, but it's a very useful term, and it's centrally relevant to delegation, which is what we've been talking about. Get this image of a monkey, and it's always sitting on someone's shoulders, and only ever one person's shoulders, and the question is, whose shoulders is it sitting on? That's the person carrying the management monkey, and it's a manager's job to sit the monkey on other people's shoulders, which you may think is a very unattractive and perhaps unethical, unfriendly thing to do, but it's not. The whole management ethos that I come from starts with the assumption that you're managing adults. These adults have chosen to be in paid employment. They take money in exchange for services. And if at any point they don't want to do the services in exchange for the money, they're free to leave. That doesn't mean that you've got a captive audience that you can abuse, quite the opposite. But it does mean that people should behave like an adult, should step up to the plate. We should start from the assumption that they're perfectly capable of doing the job they're being paid for, and if they're not, we can train them into it, and if that's not going very well, then we should look again at whether we want to continue to pay them for that job or not. It's ethical, it's sensible, it's very straight. So, one of the problems you find with struggling managers is that the damn monkey keeps climbing back on their shoulders. So you'll ask someone to do something, they'll do it badly, so you'll do it yourself. Don't ever do it yourself. That's absolutely key to this whole process. Don't ever do it yourself. If a job's worth doing, do it yourself. No. If you ever take a job back from someone, what you're really doing is telling them they don't have to try too hard, and you'll finish it for them, you'll mop up, you'll take care of their mistakes. So don't ever do that. That's absolutely hugely written in neon. Ask them what resources they might need, but basically give them back the consequences. If they're missing resources or skills, then of course you can provide them. But really, if you get to that situation, you failed in an earlier step, because if you remember, one of the keys in effective delegation is to make sure that they think that they've got the resources and the skills they need to do the job. If not, then you shouldn't have delegated in the first place. So yes, help them if you have to, but accept internally that something's gone a bit wrong there. Not the end of the world, things go wrong all the time, but try and learn when things go wrong, and think in terms of what you can do in the future to make sure that that particular thing doesn't go wrong in that particular way in the future. So don't finish their job for them. The second key in here is to speak in ways which continually reinforce that the monkey is on their shoulders. So what's your plan then? If they come and see there's a problem, what's your plan? Don't be. Some managers, and there is a real management role in coaching people, in growing people, in training them into a role. That's fine, but start with the notion that they can do the job. Allow them the opportunities to grow into a role. So don't say, oh well, you shouldn't have done that, you do this, that and the other, and then you do that. You just say, well, how are you going to complete that? What are you going to do about the problem that you've just brought me? Just get them to grow into the role. If they don't have the ideas, then you can provide the ideas, but also provide the direct feedback that you're looking for them to grow into the role. You're looking for a point in the future where they do their job, not we do your job. So that's important. So what are you going to do? What resources do you need? And if things go wrong, what have you learned? What can you take forward to the next one to prevent this happening again? And you can also informally say, well, how many marks out of 10 would you give yourself for that? Would you say you did a good job? Would you say you did a poor job? All of this in a non-combative mood. There's a line to be drawn between being friendly but telling the truth, being assertive but not being aggressive. So you need to be able to say, this didn't go very well, and that's a shame, and we need to look at how we can make it go better in the future. You can also talk delegation language in groups. You can say, Greg's doing that. Greg, can you update us on how you're doing and what your challenges are? Give them the role. Give them the public kudos that comes with the role. Give them something to live up to. That's very, very powerful. All of this is wholesome. It's healthy. It's honourable, and it's friendly. But it cultivates professionalism in the people that you've got. So, and I suppose there's one other last thing, is that every step of the way, if ever you find the monkey is back on your shoulders, how on earth did that happen? How did that happen? Get it straight back on the delegate's shoulders, and keep it there for the future.